Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, man, Turbo is up. The entire market is up. And I'm super excited, right? I'm super excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see that they are still selling these wallets. So if you do want these cold wallets and you need a more secure place other than exchanges, because exchanges are kind of iffy, they can always get hacked, something blah, right? Highly recommend getting a cold wallet, and you might as well get the Turbo one to support them. They also are limited time and limited edition, so it does make them even more valuable. Anyways, let's just jump right into the charts. We're going to be talking about Turbo. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum. What is happening with these markets? Ladies and gentlemen, right? We were saying that Turbo has been consistently raising its floors, right? We had this floor over here. We had these floors over here, higher floors, and even the roofs were also getting consistently raised. And pretty much we're saying, look, man, it looks like we are going to the upside, right? Very slow confirmation, right? It took many days, but that is what the markets do usually, ladies and gentlemen, when they are looking to reverse, right? When they're looking to reverse, even last time before we had this huge expansion, right? I mean, look at this. This volume, this price action was very messy. It was a little tricky, but the details were still there. Right, when we break it down, we had a floor, we had a double bottom, we had a higher floor, and the roofs were consistently going up higher and higher, and eventually we exploded to the upside. So, look, man, haters can cry. Seriously, cry. Because you guys don't know what you're talking about when it comes to technical analysis. Some of you clearly are either too ignorant or arrogant. And it's going to cost you in the end. It's not going to cost me. It's not going to cost people that actually listen. It's going to cost you. And yeah, I mean, I understand, people are always clowning on a coin. They call every coin a scam. They say, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. Listen, man, you're just weird, man. To be honest, people like that will always be weird to me. Like, it is what it is, though. But look, we expected, right? We expected some nice pumps. The last two monthly candles were extremely weak. And we said when this June candle closed, it was actually very beautiful. We tapped into a monthly order block, and we're also on top of a huge support zone. Now, where's Turbo going to go? Where's Turbo going to go? Right? We had a few zones marked up. We had a few zones marked up. Ultimately, though, when we look at the bigger picture, I'm really looking to be taking out the zone of 0.0065, right? The next leg is here, ladies and gentlemen, right? The next leg is here. We can go and even use something like the Fibonacci tool, take it from the top, put it to these relevant bottoms. We can see, right? The 1.6 is around 0.0089. So, right, I expect us to get there. And the data in terms of technical analysis suggests that too, because we have a little bit of, resistance around 0.0075. But just like last time when we had this huge support that turned into a resistance because we were below it, we kind of just exploded past it. So it would not surprise me if we hit even upwards of 0.009 before we slow down, right? The bigger picture that I'm looking at for this coin, ladies and gentlemen, is to be taking out the zone, eventually going above this huge resistance and kind of turning into a support, probably leaking a little bit below it, but then doing something very similar and then going to attack those all-time highs, right? Going to attack those all-time highs. This is literally the blueprint that I expect for this coin over the next few weeks. Now, I know some people suggested, well, what happened to 91 day? What happened to 91 day liquidity thing? What happened? What happened? What happened? Dude, that was just an indicator that was accurate until it wasn't, right? That's just the reality. In terms of technical analysis, we literally called it. You could go back and watch the video. Um, right? We called this break of structure, and we called the reversals. We said it's going to reverse. It broke. Nothing suggested. I mean, at no point do we say it suggests that we are going to go up for good. We said there's reversal signs. We said there's a little bit of confirmations. But then, if you actually paid attention to my words, right, the most confirmation we ever got before this rally was this point. Why? Because we had a high here, we created a higher high, but then we needed to respect this zone, which we didn't, and it got invalidated. It's that simple. It is that simple, right? And of course, the last few days we've been talking about how consolidations been happening. We've been talking about how we are looking to be most likely bursting up, and that we have to make a choice. Turbo has to make a choice. And not only Turbo, but mainly the big boy himself, Bitcoin. 118,000. 118,000? Are you kidding me? Finally, we're breaking out of this range. You could honestly debate that this is the whole range. And I would kind of agree. I mean, yeah, we had this bottom part. Yeah, a lot of people were scared, even though we said multiple times on a higher time frame, right? We had this, it exploded, it was pulling back, it had one low, it was creating a higher low, it had a high, it was creating a higher high. There was no need to worry. I understand though. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here to educate. This is why I'm here to provide the value that I do, right? Am I always going to be 100% accurate? No. But I think I can confidently say that I'm like 80 to 90% accurate, if not even more at times, right? And yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about how Bitcoin needed to make a move, right? Bitcoin was getting squished from both sides. I'm not going to over explain because I've already done this in other videos, right? But it's getting squished from both sides. It had to make the choice. Boom, it exploded. It is looking fantastic. Okay, I expect Bitcoin to kind of go upwards of 120, even maybe 130K over the next week or two, which obviously means something like Turbo is going to reap the benefits. Now, guys, this doesn't mean altcoin season is starting, right? This just means altcoins are preparing for their next leg. And something that I'm noticing with altcoins and even something like Turbo is that they are, they're really trading fundamentally. They're really building up momentum fundamentally, right? And the thing is, that is good. That is good because the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, even if we take, let's say, another 3 more months, right? But we get to this point and then altcoin season really starts and we kind of just go faster, consolidate, and then we have the last 4 to 6 weeks of the real altcoin season, then we're going to see something like this. We're going to see the fundamental buildup. Then we're going to start seeing pumps, a little bit of sideways movement. And then when it's down to like the literal last 4 to 6 weeks, then we're going to see the final big rally, right? So the fact that it's building up fundamentally now is actually a very good sign, right? People will say, oh, I wanted to go faster, I want to do this. Guys, don't be impatient. If it goes straight up now, if it just pumps super high up now for next 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to crash again really aggressively. If it builds up slowly over the next 2 to 3 weeks, right, consistently, and even if it gets the same destination, but it took 2 times longer, if it does it fundamentally, it will be good. Listen, we're ranked 153 in the world, 0.0046 price, 320 million market cap, 90 million volume. We are so back. And let me guess, we probably are over 56,000 holders. I would be surprised if we aren't. I would be surprised if we aren't, right? Guys, listen, man. Personally, I love Turbo. You know me, I'm high on this coin. People are going to crap on this coin. People are going to crap on any coin. Yeah, 56,060 holders. So fantastic, fantastic. Look, man, even when, remember this, right? Remember this now. You could write it down. Even when Turbo is going to do what it's going to do this cycle, whether it is 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever it's going to do, let's say it does good. Let's just say it does good. Not great, not excellent, not mediocre, not poor. Let's say it does good. Let's say it gets like 10 cents. People, when it dips, right? When it dips back down, because the whole market, once again, the whole market is going to be in correction. and we are going to switch from bullish to bearish, right? Because we are going to cycle out. Then the same people are going to be like, ha ha, I told you it's a scam, even though you made a lot of money. You can't be listening to these people. Listen, man, I love you guys so much. 99.9% of you guys are fantastic. I'm just talking to the like little minority that you're a little, you know what I'm saying? It's all good in the hood. It's all love at the end of the day. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.